Still have people coming in. Okay, it's slowing down. I think
They'll automatically come into the meeting, won't they?
yeah,
No, they appear on a waiting room and I just have to hit admit or admit all.
and we just got one more. Okay, so it's being recorded. Okay, welcome to Hammond North. It's a special board meeting on February 25th at 6:03. So attendance from my screen, Randy Vaughn,
Here,
Dan Welch,
Here,
Gil Patton,
Here.
Chris Conti,
Here.
Smiley, Tracy,
here.
can you, Fritz?
Here.
Okay, so first order of business is past minutes, Randy.
yeah, I sent by email to the board the minutes of the February 18th board meeting. And I asked for approval of those.
I have a motion. Oh, a second to the motion. Gil?
Gil?
Okay, any discussion among the board members? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes for February 18th? Okay, it's unanimous, 7-0. Okay, next item I have is invoices. Tracy, do you have any invoices you want us to approve today?
Not at this time. I'll do that next week for the two that we have.
Okay, thank you. Next one is announcements. So that's me, Randy, for doing the executive session.
Yeah.
Motions? Okay, so the following motions were made and approved by the Board of Directors during the executive session on February 18th. Jen Welch moved that the association pay the $125 per person fee for the use of electronic handling of quitclaim deeds in the upcoming sale of the building, seconded by Tim Fritz and approved 7-0. Second one is Randy Vaughn moved that the board accept the settlement agreement for the cross-street suit drafted on February 13th, 2026, seconded by Chris Conti and approved 7-0. And the third one, the last one, was Chris Conti moved that the HOA fees be lowered by 30% effective in March 2026, and that the board will reevaluate this reduction if the contract to sell the building to ACM is not signed, the closing is not completed, or the financial circumstances of the association change significantly. Seconded by Tim Fritz and approved 7-0. So I'd also like to just read a brief statement about that last item. That in last week in the executive session, Greg notified us that he had prepared calculations for the March HOA invoices to implement a reduction based on board discussions that occurred previously. The board decided that since the reduction calculations had been done and they were actually loaded up, ready to go for the bills, to proceed to discuss the opportunity to reduce fees. It was determined that a 30% reduction could be implemented as our current fee receipts of January, that a 30% reduction would cover current expenses. If we chose to delay the fee reduction vote to the next board meeting, we would miss the opportunity to reduce them for the March invoices. based on a clear mandate from owners for further fee reductions, we decide to vote on and upon approval, proceed with the reduction in order to impact the March invoices. And the board, as I read earlier from the motion, will continue to reevaluate expenses monthly and make fee changes as appropriate.
Aren't
Okay,
they wonderful?
And yeah, just for the record, all three of those motions were passed unanimously. It was 7-0.
yes. Okay, any other board comments? Okay, move on. So, Greg, have you for a report on the plumbing situation you discussed earlier?
Yes, John, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday of next week, which is March 3rd, Wednesday, March 4th, and Thursday, March 5th, if necessary, Anderson Plumbing will begin the repairs to the exterior leak. The repairs entails excavation about 10 feet long, about 4 feet wide, and approximately 6 feet deep. And the pipe section currently believed needing replaced is approximately 6 feet long. The total repairs at this point is $19,200. That does not include the $1,200 it cost to scan the area and sonic test the area so we can better identify the leak. Initially, that was proposed at $2,000. We were able to keep that at $1,200. Hopefully, this will cover the extent of the repairs. If the pipe is found to be longer than what is anticipated, of course, that's going to impact the cost. Once the hole and the repairs are completed and the hole is filled back up, Tim and I are going to pick up some pavement patch and just patch the top asphalt ourselves. That'll save a little bit of money, but that's where we are at this point. It might involve some additional internal mechanical issues like shutting down the boiler. We've looked at the temperatures and we've been doing that anyway on the warmer months. So we don't anticipate that that's going to create any additional problems so that we can, or possibly delay the repairs, the exterior repairs. And that's concludes that report, John, unless there's any questions at this time.
Any questions to the board? Questions to the owner? Okay, thank you, Greg.
My pleasure.
Next, Randy, for the summary of the 3 lawsuits.
Yeah, we met this morning with our lawyer provided by CNA, Ian Mitchell. And in that meeting, it was a Zoom meeting, well, Teams, but Zoom, were also 3 members of the previous board, since they're named as defendants in the Porter and the Cross Grease suit. Yeah, as far as Cross Grease goes, that's the good news. We agree in principle. We are waiting on a final write-up of the settlement agreement. And when we get that, that should be signed, approved by the court, and that case will be over. In the Porter suit, we made a settlement offer. We had made one back in January when we had our meeting with the mediation meeting. They never really responded to that. They are staying with their demand for $2 million, which is the policy limit on our D&O insurance. So we have authorized Ian to communicate with Kelly Lundgren, their lawyer, about this to see what can be resolved, if anything. The other lawsuit that we were the plaintiffs, concerning the Burnham matter. We agree in principle. We've reached an agreement there. And Julie Gugino, our lawyer from the Finney law firm, who negotiated that, represented us in the negotiation of that. She has been charged then with writing the settlement that has been agreed upon. And when that's finished, hopefully we'll all get that signed and that case will be done. So the only outstanding lawsuit that we have at this point, assuming Croskery and Burnham get wrapped up quickly, will be the Porter matter. And that's pretty much my report.
Thanks, Randy. Are there any board questions? Okay, we'll unmute Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have two questions. One, I finally got a copy of the email that the Porter litigants set out with a copy of the letter that they supposedly attached or sent to Ian Mitchell. And in their settlement offer, they mention an allocation that was proposed. They've made the claim that this lawsuit and the payout would, because it's derivative, be going back to the association. But is the allocation that they mention for a portion of the payout to go directly to them, and then the rest of it go to the association under the derivative claims? Is that what that section means?
Yes,
Yeah,
and another portion goes to their lawyer. So,
Okay, so there's three splits. Part of it goes to them, part of it goes to the association, and part of it goes to the lawyer.
yeah, Chris, we
I'm
really,
not sure how much of this we can talk about.
exactly.
Well, since
if-
they were the ones that released it, you don't have to give me specifics. I just wanted to know what that meant. And because they released this into the wild, this letter, I thought it could be addressed. But my other question is, because in the email that they sent, in the email portion, not the letter to Ian Mitchell, they implored the association to put pressure on you to settle. Is that potentially a violation of Ohio Revised Code 2905-11 or -12 for coercion or extortion? Because they are
Well-
asking us to potentially put pressure on you to settle in their favor. And they are using an implied threat of not signing consent to sell forms if they don't settle in your favor. So you don't have to answer this, but it's something you might want to talk to your lawyers about, because that really fits the definition of potentially extortion or coercion under Ohio law.
Yeah, I'd say our lawyers are aware of it, and I leave it up to lawyers we're not lawyers, so I don't think we can say what is it or isn't a violation. And again, as Gil was saying, we are still in mediation, whatever our position is. So we really can't get into the details much. Michelle.
Yeah, I want to thank Chris for his comments. I also was able to see the letter Diana Porter wrote and the attachment from the attorney, and it validated my belief that we're being extorted. And I want to ask the Porter plaintiffs, I'm directing this question to them. What is the end game here? I don't understand this, because right now where we're at is my reading of the information is that they're saying that the attorney's wrong, the DNO is going to pay, you've got the wrong attorney, find a better attorney who agrees with them, get the $2 million, and in exchange, they will not sue for $10 million and drag us into court and lose the opportunity to sell the building. And it sounds to me like they're planning to sue previous board members as well. And all this starts to sound like to me is a lot of lawyers making a lot of money. So I don't know what the end game is here. If you're doing this because you want to help the association, then this is paradoxical and ridiculous. Because if this goes to court, it will scuttle any offers to sell the building by direct sale. Nobody's going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. And it's only going to mire the association in crazy legal crap for years. Now, if you need to pay your attorneys off, because my reading of the letter said 50% would go to the association, so I'm assuming they owe their attorneys a giant chunk of change. Well, take that money. Look, you can take some of my money. I'm fine with that. I don't like it, but just take my damn money so we can all move on. Pay off your attorneys. Pain and suffering, we're all suffering, we're all in pain. I just don't understand this. So I just want to say to the association as a whole, my fear right now is that we will be embroiled in this mess because of the Porter plaintiffs for the next 2 to 3 years, and we're all going to end up with pittance for our units. And so I just don't understand why people who have claimed that they care about the association are staying on this course. So if I just don't understand. So, but I appreciate Chris's comments. I personally, as an association member, felt that that letter and the information from the attorney was an overt threat. You either do this or we're going to screw you. The last comment I want to make is to remind the Porter plaintiffs that you actively blocked the previous board in a lot of your actions, including encouraging people to do civil disobedience, not leave the unit, presenting yourself as an expert, claiming that the city would overturn the AED, all these things. There is a very good chance if this goes to court, you're going to lose. And I hope that the board goes after them with a vengeance to get every penny that they have sucked dry from all of us. So thank you.
Okay, Michelle, let me just say that I'd appreciate it if we didn't get into a back and forth of different owners, questions of the board, questions that we can try to answer. I understand, but I don't think it's productive to have the back and forth. Bruce.
My comment was to restrict comments to the board or questions to the board. Just what you said. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, is there any other comments? Questions?
I'm just going to reply.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I muted you, Michelle. I thought it was
John,
unmuted.
I did not ask Diana Porter to send an email to this association. I did not ask her to put this information out into the ether for all owners. I didn't ask for that. If she wants to talk to me directly, she knows how to get in touch with me. But, to say this isn't a back and forth right now, I'd have no other avenue. So I will limit my comments going forward, but I don't deserve to be chastised when I'm not the one who opened this can of peas.
Okay, David?
I'm just wondering if it's worth it to get another lawyer's opinion just so we can say that we did that and the other lawyer sided with us and not with the plaintiffs. It doesn't seem like that would cost very much, and it could possibly move the what do you call them? Complainants.
So if another attorney and he disagrees with the first attorney, then do we get a third attorney to break the tie?
Well, what are we talking? A few $1,000s?
No, it'd be much more than a few $1,000s.
To get an opinion? You're kidding.
Somebody to go over this case and review it completely would take a lot of time.
Okay, well, then sounds like you guys understand the costs better than I do, and I am
Let's just say
satisfied.
also, we are looking into that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Any other questions from owners? Randy?
There's a chat question. Can you briefly explain the Burnham case? It stems from the fact that the fire began in Unit 108, which was owned by Ms. Burnham, and three insurance companies who insured owners in the building and had to pay out because of the fire and the association, as we represent our owners, are filed suit to try to defray some of the expense that the fire cost all of us.
Any other questions? Okay, then I guess we'll move on to the PSA, which I announced last week that we thought very close to agreement. We found out Friday that their attorney for ACM wants to take another look at it, and there will be some minor changes. We only got those changes this morning. We had a conversation of 3 board members and Isaac to go over the changes, his thoughts on them, our thoughts on them. The bottom line is that they are not minor changes. Some of them have some major implications to signing the contract. So it's basically Isaac is going to draw his comments on their red line sections. The board will review them and it'll go back to them. So I'm afraid we do not have a timetable at this point. Hopefully we can negotiate all those through, but I really don't know exactly how it's going to play out. Any other board questions or comments on the PSA? Well, let me say one other thing about it that everybody should be aware of in terms of timeline. As it's written now, as we've mentioned before, there's 15 days in which to get all the 180 consent to sell forms and any forms of people who have sued the board that they will not sue the new owner of the property. It does not end lawsuits, but it says that that's what they will do. We have 15 days for that. That's followed by 45 days of due diligence, and then followed by 30 days to close. So it's a total of 90 days from when it's signed. No board questions? Any questions from owners on this?
Oh, what does PSA stand for? Again, we're using a
project sales agreement,
Purchase.
synonymous to contract.
Purchase sales agreement.
Purchase. I just know the initials. Gil, did you have your hand up?
That's all I was going to say, purchase sale agreement.
Purchase. Okay, Mike?
I was under the understanding that this was going to be consummated by the 19th. Why my offer's still out there, I'm not sure why you guys are bickering back and forth.
Bluntly, I'm not sure why we either, but the choice is to drop it, which is a possibility, or to hope that this will resolve itself. We'll have a contract, which Mike, as you have graciously come back and had 2 offers, it could come back with you, which I have no idea whether you'd be, well, I have some indication you said it's perhaps you'd be willing, but we'll cross that bridge if we get to it.
I can answer it for you right now. My offer for 13.5 still stands. All I need is a signature on a LOI to show financing. I
Okay.
can close this thing pretty quickly. I don't, for the life of me, understand why you're taking less. But at any rate, if you can't consummate a deal with them, why pursue it?
So let me just respond to that. Mike, we're not bickering back and forth. There are a lot of things that we need to hammer out in the details. One of those things are consent to sell, which I think Jan may give an update on. The other, as John alluded to, was, a document to say that people who are involved in the lawsuits don't, go back and attempt to sue the building itself. There are other financial things that we've been discussing about monies back and forth, and then certain responsibilities in the due diligence phase. So we want to make sure that we hammer out all those details before putting a signature on there to make sure that due diligence is obtainable. The last thing we want to do is sign a contract and we can't get the information back to the buyers in a timely manner. So that's what we're trying to work through right now.
Well, you've had till the 19th and you have failed. Isn't it time to move with our offer?
It's not a failure. We're doing our due diligence. That's not considered a failure. That rushing to a deadline, we don't want to rush to a deadline without doing the work. What's most important is that we do what's best for the association and not necessarily, say we're going to put a deadline on ourselves.
Let-
You're
let me
doing a
add-
very good job of not rushing.
Yeah, let me just
Yeah,
add, Mike,
thank you.
that I think you're pointing out the date that we did originally said it was in your LOI, it was an ACM LOI. We wanted to reach a contract in 21 days. Clearly that didn't work out. But the board has decided to keep pursuing it. And there was language that was different than in the timing simultaneously as we're going back and forth with our potential draft LOIs as to what the wording was as to whether the contract was signed in 21 days. And it does fall under the LOI that we signed with ACM.
which is a non-legal binding agreement, by the way. But the 19th is come and gone. You said at the original meeting, they'll be done by the 19th. It isn't. I believe it's time to move on. As an owner, I think it's time to move on, not just because it's me. And the offer is greater. I don't understand the holdup. Please explain why you would pursue a lesser offer past the deadline. Tracy.
Well, I mean, I can answer that, but
I'll take that, John. So the offer is just not about the purchase amount. The offer also have other critical components in a contract outside of the purchase amount that we will be liable for before, in order to sign this. We have to cross our T's and dot our I's, Mike. This is not something that we're trying to rush to meet a deadline. I get that date was put out there as we would love to hit this date, but we have to do our due diligence. This is not something that, we're just going to make us, jerk decision on because we're trying to hit a date. And because we passed that date, that doesn't mean the deal is dead. It doesn't mean the deal isn't good. The deal is a good deal. We just want to cover ourselves so we don't sign away things that we know we need to have happen for the owners. So we're putting their interests ahead of, trying to hit a date, which is, I think, is our job to do. So I hear you. The deadline was missed, but we're going to keep moving forward and do the best of our ability to get this signed. And who knows what will happen, but we still need to put the work in.
let me also add to that, to Tracy's comment, that as we talked before, which I don't see there's a big need to continue that dialogue, but since you asked the question, that the period for the contract signing was one of 4 major issues that regretfully we couldn't come to agreement. And I respect your position that you feel that it was adequate to release the funding after we signed the LOI. We respectfully thought we wanted to know the money before the LOI is signed. I understand your point of view. That was a major problem for us. 2 other points that we had. One, we couldn't reach agreement on how to get the permits to you. And I had sent you language that we would sign the city's form to transfer ownership at closing, but we couldn't reach agreement on that. Number 2 was the other question is whether you'd accept the building as is, which ACM did accept that. Now, I understand your point of view. You hadn't been in the building in a while, but those were, all I'm saying is for the purpose of 180 owners, there were points that we couldn't reach agreement on.
Well, the fact of the city after closing is untrue. I said I'd be fine with that. I'm the one who went and met. You went as well. I got the document for you. I gave it. I told you to change the documents the way you want. But anyway, at the end of the day, if you choose to go with us for $2 million more or $3 million when you start throwing commissions in, I think it would be smart on behalf of the owners, especially while you're wasting time with this. But I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get in an argument in public forum.
Fair enough. All right. Are any other owners have any other comments? Okay, then I think we have one other item. I think it's pretty short. Jan, any updates on the quitclaim deed committee?
Well, I will say, because it was asked about the consent to sell, we have to have 180 total, true. We're at 176, so there are 4 more. We're about to have 1. It may take a week or so, but it's there. Regarding the quitclaim deed committee, our work is underway. We have around 20 floor reps. Some floors have 1 rep, some floors have 2, and we are getting organized for how to approach this. Many of you, or some of you, may have been contacted by your floor rep this week, either in writing or by email probably, or by phone, and that will continue. The business with the PSA will slow us down some because we cannot start that until the PSA is signed. So, but we're going to be ready to go, and all indications from owners are that they are also ready to go. They're like, okay, how do I sign? And it will be fast. For almost all, hopefully.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from owners? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? Marion,
Wait,
Yes, had you said that the offer, the PSA included wording that said they would not go further without 100% consent?
that's correct. There's initial 15 days where they want two things. One, they want 180 consent to sell forms. Number two is they want anybody who has sued the board to have a release from suing the new owners or the building, not the association. Doesn't affect current lawsuits, but they want those from any current plaintiffs.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anything in chat, Randy?
no, well, someone has thanked Mike for hanging in on his offer to buy the building. And I think the rest, no, I think that's it.
Okay. All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
Wait, okay, what's
Wait,
this?
yes, Randy?
I don't know. Some new, I can't find it. Okay, no, we're good.
Make a
Okay,
motion to adjourn.
as Gil, do we have a second? That's Tim. All right, all those in favor? Okay, that passes.
John,
All right, thank you very much.
John, grab the chat.
At the chat.